Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome to the show. And today we have the second character spotlights of our channel. May I present to you this gentleman right here, Monssieur Neuvillette. It's the gentleman we'll be covering today. Hello, how you doing? Hope you're doing fine, I hope you're doing great. And after about a month of me patiently waiting for someone to untie the poll that I did, it got untied and the most voted option was Neuvillette. So he will be featured on today's character spotlights. The last one about Arlechinno was way too long. I'm aware of that. It had audio issues. I'm also aware of that. This one I'll try to go faster and not to overextend myself, basically. So, with that being said, let's jump right into Genshin, and I present to you Monssieur Neuvillette, here on the Fontaine court, where he belongs. He's the judge, always ready to deliver swift justice. Neuvillette is a Hydro Catalyst user with not relevant normal attacks. However, his whole kit is based on this to become basically a Hydro combo. So the entirety of his kit revolves around this mechanic. As you saw, you can move around. Meanwhile, you can avoid some attacks that go through the ground, like Raiden's the boss Raiden last wave of attacks, for example. You can avoid that. And he is quite the character. I'm gonna begin his cover talking about talents. From lower to the top, this is just when you're underwater. So you have more speed when you go below water here on Fontaine. This is a passive. He will get Hydro bonus the more HP he has, the additional bonus he gets, capping up to 30%, meaning that it could go off. No, let's do this properly. From 30% to 100% of HP, he will gain Hydro damage bonus, and a maximum of 30%, meaning that if you begin with full HP, you will deal more damage thanks to this bonus, but the lower his HP gets with his E, with his charge attack executing, the lower the damage will be because you will be losing HP comparing to your max HP cap. So it's just an additional bonus talent that will decrease with time, and you will get more damage the more HP he's got, basically. Now, this is basically the talent that makes him work as for setups is related. What do I mean by this? If you can read, and I hope you can, all this translates that during 30 seconds you will get stacks of Draconic Glories. You can get one stack every time you do a Hydro related reaction. Vaporize, Frozen, Electric Charge, all you see here. Meaning that you want Neuvillette to be the Hydro carry in his situation, but a player, if you cannot kill everything with him, you want him to drive with Hydro from a distance. You have to use a Hydro reaction like a Swirl or a Crystallize or a Bloom, a Hyper Bloom, whatever, and then you will get additional damage up to 160%. This talent is important because Constellation 1, but we'll get into Constellations a little bit later. Let's end the talent section by saying that, as you saw, he is based on the normal attack, and that's why you crown the normal attack. So the multiplier that you care about is this one. No, not this one, excuse me. This one? Nope. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I was correct. This is the fully charged charge attack, basically. And the higher the HP, the higher the damage. So, the mechanic about this skill is that if you absorb droplets, the 3-second charge time gets depleted. 1 second for every orb that you pick up. So, the elemental skill, which I could raise, I can convert this, I'll save it for whenever I need to, will drop 3 source water droplets. And as soon as you use your skill, you charge attack, and you begin the charge attack immediately thanks to the droplets and him picking up the droplets. So, the Equitable Judgment, which is the big AoE cannon, will take your HP away down to 50%. If you have below 50%, I think you cannot, you will not get the benefits from it. So, or as many benefits from it. So, which is this above. You want to use these droplets to make him charge attack as much as possible. That's why also the burst comes in. The burst comes in because it does generate 6 water source droplets. Therefore, you could begin any rotation by doing your E, hitting enemies, picking the droplet, and then shooting. Then use your burst, which I don't have here right now. And this, using the burst, will need you 6 more droplets, which you can hold again, nuke everything for 3 seconds, and then you will have 3 more to nuke again for 3 more seconds. So basically, and after that, for these 9 full seconds plus the burst animation, you will be able to use your E again and continue kicking ass, basically. So that's his basic mechanic of talents, and everything is focused on the droplets. And this way, that's how he deals his damage. So, let's get the constellations out of here because it ties with his talents. As you can see, I've got the first constellation. The second constellation is purely more critical damage with your charge attacks up to 42%. I'll continue with constellations, but let me tell you why I did pick his C1. All of this, besides the additional interruption and resistance, which is what I'm highlighting here, this makes it so that Neuvillette automatically begins with 1 stack. Does this mean you only have an additional 10% damage? No. This means that you can use other Hydro characters with him. That's the gist of it. Do you need the C1? No. Because the team that I'm running right now is what you should want to run. You could also run, like, I don't know, I tell you Baiju or Nahida or some way to make vaporizers, how do I say this? To make every enemy be able to be vaporized. By the way, don't forget that I'm not English, so if sometimes I get just everything mixed up in my brain is that I'm trying to translate what I want to say. With that being said, Neuvillette currently is like the second best unit in the game, hands down, bar none. His water source droplets heal him, and that allows him to deal additional damage and keep all his mechanics going, also triggering his artifact set, which is the next point we should talk about. Let me end with constellations, because this raises the normal attacks, which is good on him. This increases the burst level, which is relatively good on him, but you wouldn't stop here. And this one makes it so that every time you you hit an enemy, you will get a droplet. So, no, this is every time that you got healed, and you can trigger this once every 4 seconds. This means that after using your E and healing up, or using your charge attack, then using your E and then healing up, you will get an additional particle every time, which makes it so that you have an additional second on the charge attack. And this combines with C6, because this allows you to automatically get droplets. You get two additional currents every 2 seconds that deal additional attacks, which, since they are equitable judgment, they can trigger both C4, C1, and C2, excuse me, and everything. And this will also keep giving you droplets. So this way, the charge attack is basically continuous. That's why you see C6 Neuvillettes being able to non-stop charge attacking. That's the functionality of C6. He's a crazy unit, tons of damage, like insane amount of damage. You will see eventually later, because we're gonna run through some stuff here. But if you want to see like immediately something, Neuvillette Furina destroys Arlechinno both phases in under a minute, or maybe a minute-ish if you consider the animations. Yeah, that video is on my channel, and if you want to click on my name after this review is over, or guide is over, you will see that for yourself. Don't worry, you don't need to leave right now, because we'll have a showcase a little bit afterwards. But after we've said all that we had to do to say, excuse me, about his constellations, then let's move on. I would move on into artifacts, but weapons will be faster to cover. So let's continue with that rather. As you can see, this is his weapon. Quite the session. It is still up. If I'm not mistaken, I won his 50-50, and I won the weapon clean and the first 50-50. It is still up here on my YouTube channel. And if you want to check it out, there's no sound on that video because I did not have the setup that I have now, but past times. About what else can you use with him? I mean, his one is like obviously the best one, but there's always options like, one little thing though, if you use any catalyst that it's, or weapon rather, that has crit rate, you almost don't need crit rate on his pieces. Because, see, if you're using the Sacrificial Jade instead of the Lost Prayers, which is the Battle Pass weapon, all that it gives is really good and it gives crit rate. But his set, which is the Marathus Hunter set, does already give like 36 crit rate. So 36 plus 36 is 72 already. So it's very easy to overcap crit rate on Neuvillette. That's why you gotta focus as much as possible in crit damage. As much as possible. We'll deal with his stats later, but other weapons that you could use, for example, this one would be relatively good, but the substat is not good. What else could we use on him? Well, the Withsit has the problem that this one has nothing to do with him. The attack percent is totally valueless. The crit damage is a good statistic, the elemental damage 96 is good, and the elemental mastery is good, especially because you want him to deal as many reactions as possible. So that's also a thing. But if you're getting the attack percent, you're getting nothing out of it, so it's a slippery slope. Don't use this one because normal attacks, it's not what he said his kit is all about, I would say. And as a total free to play, you can use Prototype Amber because the HP you want is HP percent. And this way, the Elemental Burst will need your energy and you will heal everyone as well, besides you, for his own mechanics. Basically, what you want is the HP percent on this weapon. And since the set gives crit rate, aplenty, you might be able to run a crit damage helmet, so the damage output could be something worth considering, and no need to go all the way here. So I do because I wanted it, so that's that. But Prototype Amber is good. And with Seed, be careful because the attack percent gives you nothing. So it's a stat stick. You can think about it as a stat stick. You could also use, as a stat stick also this one, but this will need you nothing, like nothing, because this is not a thing. Same for Scaramouche, not useful for him. It's a stat stick, basically. So weapons kind of covered up. The options are quite limited, as you can see, but there are some, so you just go with whichever you can go with. Okay, as I said, his set is the Marashuse Hunter set. Of course, the charge attack is made for him, and since his mechanics with the talents make his HP delta, delta means variation, or higher or lower. So since his HP can delta very frequently, this is for him. As for him, for Linné, and for you could Chlorine now with Bone of Life. Basically, everyone who can lower his HP or increase it, Rothlessly is another one that can use Marashuse. For me, I also use Marashuse with Navia because I use her with Furina. I know this is not a Navia guide, but the thing is that as this set with Furina, it's inherently good. That's the main thing I wanted to point out. Because Furina makes you variate your HP at C0. No, you don't need C6 Furina. This is more than enough. I'm gonna go into the substats now. Some of these are very cracked. That's how it ended up being. So yeah, I put this one on Navia because attack percent. And this is more balanced and it has HP, so really good. I don't need to say anything here, I think. This was a chore, but in the end it got here, so yeah. But the biggest of chores was this one. I farmed for this helmet months. It was 4.4 and I was farming this since 4.0 and finally got the helmet that I wanted, and I said, I'm done with this domain, I don't want to step in there ever again. So I still need some additional stuff to get there for my whatever, but I got it, so we're done with that. And this is the goblet with doubles. As you can, if you made some quick calculations in your head, you gotta add like this 88 here, and you can understand that this is insane. No other character crosses 300. No other character. And even so, hold on. Not long ago, this lady got this. So I could make him lose some crit and get even more crit damage, one full additional roll. And this would let him sit around 43, and this would go up to 322. So yeah, just for the sake of I'm gonna use Neuvillette more than Yelan. Let's just kick up the ante even further. You can do this without no problem. I don't like this actually, so I'm gonna revert. But check this shit, you can do this. And here you see 41, but you have to add 36 from the set. Because the set is 12 crit rate every time the HP varies, which is immediately with him. Because you can gain HP if you have used the charge attack. Because the E will give you the droplets that will heal you, so that's one trigger. The charge attack will make you lose HP multiple times, so that's 2 triggers, 3 triggers, and that's gonna be that because then you're fully stacked. And all of this happens in under a second and a half, 2 seconds. So this is active continuously. Because yeah, it's every 5 seconds, but this only gets interrupted if you stop charge attacking or you stop his rotation. And it doesn't matter if you do, because you will begin the rotation again and this will trigger all over again. So it's like having continuously 36% additional crit rate. So if you come here and add 42 plus 36, this is 78 crit rate. With the other goblet, then now I have to find Yelan. With the other goblet, this is 46 plus 36, this is 82 crit rate, plus 315 or 20 or whatever. Do you see why this is so nuts? Now, let's get all of these, talk about his teams, and showcase you the numbing craziness about these Monsieur. So, as you can see, I'm gonna try and use this team here. We'll go over variations about his possibilities, but let me tell you why would you want this team, excuse me. As I told you, we're talking C0 Neuvillette. Neuvillette wants to trigger 3 reactions to achieve maximum damage of his seal, the passive, his Ascension 4 passive. So, what you want to do with Neuvillette, at least with this team, is begin with Neuvillette, swirl the Hydro, then go into Zhongli, crystallize the Hydro, go into Bennett, because the enemies shouldn't have Hydro applied anymore, go into Bennett, E and Q, go into Kazuha's Q, if you have to use your E again because you got C1 or Sacrificial Sword, you can do that, and then go back into Neuvillette, and then vaporize everything that will be burning in Kazuha's Q. That's the setup. So Neuvillette will have maximum damage. Let's try and get this to work. So for that, I'm gonna go to his domain, and maybe we get another helmet which I need for Navi. It's gonna be a very quick. It's gonna be a very quick one. Don't blink, basically. Come on. Okay. Let me just concentrate. Rising. And I suspect I'll remember how to do this one, but I usually did it with Furina because C2, but I'll just try to remember how I did it earlier. So I hope I have all the energy. If you don't have all the energy, there's some enemies right outside the gate, so you can just fill your queues. I don't have Kazuha's Q. I don't have Neuvillette's Q, but you don't need Neuvillette's Q. Neuvillette's Q is just a way to get more droplets, but you'll see the map. I want
a hunter becomes the hunter.
You can also do what I just did is just click hold for the orbs to absorb and then dash away. It's like instant healing, whatever. Let's get in. with the first E I'm gonna get the Q. I'm not gonna use it, but just so you see. This would be a C0 setup. C1 setup would be with Furina. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But this is the rotation that you should want to look at, most likely. Hope I do it correctly, because live stuff and whatnot, but let's do this. Very noticeable. Furina missing damage is very noticeable. Now it's world. Reset the burst. And that would be basically it. I've gotten better setups, like it happened in Abyss, but the rotation that I did, it was that one. So unless it got something swirled incorrectly or whatnot, this should kind of be it. Even though you've seen him deal like 60k with normal charge attacks under Zhongli and the Shred of Kazuha. Not good. And nice, Furina! Furina! She's gonna be happy for that. Or Fischl even. I've been looking to get Fischl into a better setup, but I need a good helmet, but whatever. Claim all. So, for better setups, I'm gonna move into Abyss, but let's like clear a boss or something for now. Let's go to our good old pal, the bird. The bird is the word. So, you've seen him hit like 60k. With Furina it gets more insane, like much more insane. So, little bird, someone told me that you're kind of dead, so let's give this poor cow a call. At least this way you will make everyone applied by Pyro, and then when Neuvillette sweeps around with his crazy setup, you can like vaporize everyone. It's quite the setup. Just for the sake of simplicity, we're gonna do one more boss and then I'm gonna move into Abyss. For the Magokenki run, I'm gonna use Furina, and below I'm just gonna run. I could run. I was about to say I could run Chlorine, but Chlorine, don't get me wrong, she can be really good, but you need to play her correctly the entirety of the time and rotate correctly the entirety of the time and whatnot. It's not as easy as it seems at the beginning to make her deal all the time. You know, no Bennett. Still dealing like 40k per tick at the second round. That was a boss. That was a boss that you need to kill to get everyone to level 90. It was not as crazy as the other day with Arlechinno and Apep, which destroyed Apep the last two phases, the first phase and the last phase, in below a minute, most likely, a minute 10. Arlechinno versus the dragon. That's another video on my channel if you want to check that out. But we could do more bosses, but I think you get the drift. Now, I'm gonna come here into this, but before I go in, I need to explain you how this is even a thing. Because you saw a single vape do like 140k with just a charge attack passing by and someone was like gone into another life. So yeah, the thing is that with this setup, you're gonna see it better here. You saw the setup, you go into Neuvillette, Kazuha will shred Hydro, so you have a 40% additional resistance shred coming from here. And since my Kazuha is C2, I'll get 200 elemental mastery, which I want to have anyway, because when you burst Bennett's Q, you will apply Pyro, so you will vaporize. So 200 additional EM, it's very, very noticeable, honestly. The next step was going to Zhongli, getting the crystallized. And Zhongli, this is what you gotta know. I'm running him with Petra. This is like the new best setup for him, for these teams, and most likely for any elemental reaction team. I say this because another way to build Zhongli is with Tenacity of the Millilith. But Tenacity would work better with per se Arlechinno, per se. However, with Arlechinno, you can also get a crystallized reaction, get 35% additional elemental bonus damage, which is a ton, and still be able to work with Neuvillette and Furina. So you are better off running Petra than Tenacity. Also, there are new variants with Chlorine that would require you to use Tenacity on Nahid, excuse me. So, sorry about that. So now that set's tied to something else. This way you can get the most benefit for your artifacts, basically. We're nothing else to be said. For me, and because I got C1, I'm gonna run him with Furina most of the times. You get additional Hydro Resonance, which increases your max HP, which increases your damage with Neuvillette. The HP went from 32k to 36k, basically, and this will affect all his multipliers throughout his skills and damage and whatnot. So for now, let's just show you how this works, basically. Let's get out of here. No, not 10, 12. Nobody got time for that. Just checking. Triple Kenkis, you will see everything, how it goes. This should be close to my latest speed run of Abyss, but now you're gonna see it here on his guide, so it can be checked at any point in time. Arlechinno, Yelan. Use Venti here for crowd controlling, and good old Benny Boy because he's busted. In Natlan's gonna give us a better Benny, and then we will not know what to do. But for now, let's focus on what we have here. Enjoy this run. I don't know how many floors I'll do, but if this goes smoothly, you will most likely see a full clear. Yeah. That's basically how we cook.
What's one more? Shouldn't get careless.
Now I want to do this.
Purging transgressions.
The next travelers are gonna get just to reset the skill point. I lost all defense.
Did I scare you?
But that's it. See, you can trigger every 14 seconds for now. Try to increase the damage output.
Banquet must go on. Apologies.
Considerate of me.
Bigger than you thought, like
I have.
So far, Neuvillette has cleared faster than Arlechinno. But this is like, just so you can see. Also, first of all, this is trash, so I guess. But now you'll see another function about, not Neuvillette, but Furina in this case. Let's just show you. Now, you shield on and you can normal attack with Furina. And that will like very immediately. Super shield, not yeah, you can count it. That I don't know why that failed. Honestly, I don't know. I need to get home. But oh, because I got it in. Come on, I had it on the feeling state, so normal. Come on. Just for me stating this, I've got this cleared in 30 seconds in a speedrun big, but I just got confused here. Happens to the best of us. What happened there is that I had Furina on the Numa stance, and that guy loses his shield against the Uzi stand. So I had to swap with the charge attack and then normal attack, but mistakes were made basically.
Pay your dues.
Your journey ends here,
Target practice.
Lord of Sand.
And raise a storm! Where do you think you're going?
The monster. You're Lord. Where is the fella?
Goodbye. I will meet
Behold, the abyss has become you. Hear the truth, the gifts of grace,
Oh, I did not do
the gifts of grace. Peace be with you, by holy proclamation, in the name of the truth, the power of the revelation sets you free.
You want as many reactions as
Peace
possible.
and hope find you. Hear ye the words of joy. Grace be upon you. Peace and hope. Peace and hope find you. Grace be upon you. The power
Fucking
of
fail.
revelation. The truth shall set you free. Peace and hope find you. Shall endure.
Still, Abyss is Abyss and it's hard for a reason, but regarding Neuvillette, you can see his full potential. Either here, basically the first floor was much smoother, but just check my speedruns of it of Abyss. This way you will get better and more accurate. Now you want to totally free. he deals like 80k per tick. It's a very, very nice amount of damage. Last floor I don't remember, but we're not looking that crisp in this room.
I will cleanse you of your sins. The unholy dross! The road to redemption! One more sin upon your soul! Be still and know! Do not fight your salvation!
Come on, at least we're here.
Righteous retribution! Your atonement has barely begun.
She was missing crits, Arlechinno did there. But you saw that was kind of a complete run. With Furina, the damage goes from 50-60k tops to 80 plus k. It's very, very noticeable. Even though the maximum damage I have ever dealt with Neuvillette was here in Abyss, and it was like 278k damage with a single charge attack in with Bennett, Kazuha, Zhongli, and Neuvillette. So the top damage is still Vaporize, which is a reaction, but his most efficient continuous damage setup is with Furina. If you have the C1. Else, with Bennett and Kazuha and the rotation I explained at the video, it's good and what you should aim at. Basically, a crazy character, Neuvillette, crazy good. Not much else to say about him, honestly. I don't know how long I've been here recording, but I don't have much else to explain about him. The second best unit in the game, as you've seen. And with that, ladies and gents, we should conclude the second character spotlights here in this channel. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you have fun. If there's any questions about Neuvillette that you want answered, feel free to leave them at the comment section, sound off. Any suggestions, any wishes on, or requests rather, on who should be spotlighted next. I'm gonna make another poll, be aware and waiting for that. And for that, for the current time, nothing else to say. Let me come back to my conversation screens and just bid you all adieu. Hope you had fun, hope you enjoyed this, hope you got something good out of it. And one additional thing let me come back. I wanna explain, say, tell you, however you wanna say it, is that this character is also really good on hyper bloom reactions. You could use him with Fischl and Nahida, for example.
Behold, the Princess Endeavor Talon.
Always Nahida.
Time to broaden our horizons again.
You could run this, for instance, and this would be a very, very taser heavy, damage heavy hyper bloom team. Because Nahida will apply you the Dendro continuously. Fischl will attack as many times as Neuvillette attacks. So, and you also have Furina's pets around, which should also trigger Fischl because how it's texted on her talent. So yeah, it's also a very neat composition, very fun. If you want this automatized, you can go EM Raiden as well, but Fischl should deal more damage than that. Even though doing this is like really easy, you just E Nahida, E mark everything, burst with Nahida if you have to, Furina burst and Neuvillette E. and everyone around is basically dead. But nowadays we have better options with Hyperbloom and all these setups. So I wouldn't use this team. I would use where are you? Now I lost him at Castle Hall.
Sounds good to me.
And Zamori,
A walk would be
which
nice.
is my recommendation. About Furina, Furina's here next banner. Furina is a really good unit. Just to wrap up everything, about the banners as well. Sigwin, you don't need her. She's really niche, and the functionality she's got is like the burst. You have to be on field to do worse than a Neuvillette charge attack. It will heal you, but so does Neuvillette. So Furina, mine is at C2. C1 is what enables you to be able to deal almost double damage, basically. And C2 makes it so that every time your HP deltas, or any HP of any character variates or deltas, the fanfare is increased way faster, basically. So you will get more damage, but you will need to get damaged faster. That's why, or healed faster, even over heals. That's why Furina goes really well with Jin and Baiju as well. But since Neuvillette can delta his own HP very fast, basically as soon as you overheal with him to himself, you will trigger this. So you will get all the Furina's bursts almost immediately with C2, and more other setups that rely on her, but she does delta your HP with her E, the entirety of the team. So that's why I went up to C2. This allows you to trigger your full effect on your burst really fast, in a second or two. The other way around, you do have more fanfare capability, maximum capability, but it will trigger slower than with C2, basically. And before I end up with no voice whatsoever, do I recommend Furina? Yes. Yes, solid yes. Is she the best DPS? No, but she enables everyone to deal more damage. It's like a Mega Bennett. Kokomi died the day Furina got released. You will get much more utility from Furina than from Kokomi. It's Kokover for her. Furina, great character, which if you have C1 Neuvillette, you can run them both, but enough, I've said that plenty of times already. So I'm just gonna come back now to my conversation screens and conclude this guide for today. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you're doing fine, and I hope to see you all around. If you like this character spotlight guide, we'll have another one soon. So for now, before this goes way longer, please like, comment, and subscribe, and give your comments down below. Feel free to sound off. As per usual, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I've been Karl the Kaiser, and I hope I see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone. Next stop, Chlorine. See ya. Bye bye. Enjoy.